What up, Viking fans? And thank you for tuning in to the Skol State of Mind podcast. I'm your host, D Woods, and I have an interesting topic to discuss with you guys today. If you checked out the thumbnail, have even skimmed through the description and peeped out the title, you're probably wondering, what am I talking about? And I'm just asking the question, are the Minnesota Vikings playing with house money? And if you're not familiar with that term, it's a gambling term, right? And I'm going to give you a quick and sweet definition of what that actually means. Playing with house money is a phrase used in gambling to describe when a player continues to gamble with winnings they've already won. The term house money refers to the money that was initially won from the casino, aka the house. So basically, what that means is you're only playing with the money that you have already won, right? So let's break down how that term relates to our Minnesota Vikings, especially this season. Well, Vegas didn't predict the Vikings to do anything this season. I mean, not just Vegas, some of the national media, a lot of, content creators didn't predict the Vikings to do anything this season. I mean, I think the average was the Vikings only going to win about 6 games, and that's going to be it. This season was supposed to be a transitional year, from veteran quarterback to young rookie quarterback, right? One of those down seasons to where you can basically look at it and say, well, they learned something. They can build from this season. But I think the Minnesota Vikings front office and coaching staff never thought this year was going to be a transitional year or a learning year, right? Because if you break down to what the Vikings have done this offseason with the draft, free agency, I think they wanted to be in this current situation that they're in right now. So let's just talk about free agency for a little bit. Now, on the defensive side, they brought in Van Ginkel, Jonathan Grenard, Blake Cashman, Shaquille Griffin. Later on in the offseason, they brought in Stephon Gilmore. I mean, that's just the defense alone, right? So, yes, they were able to do so with allowing Kirk Cousins to walk and get a big contract with the Atlanta Falcons. But those players were players that, in my opinion, Brian Flores wanted and kind of fit the scheme that he wants to run with this team. So they went out and he signed these guys to, some nice team deals. And look at what this defense is doing this season. I mean, last season, the defense played real well beginning of the year. And I would say like the last 5 games, defense wasn't the same. You can say injuries. You can say the NFL basically, figured out Brian Flores' scheme. It is what it is. But this offseason, I would say they made it a point to go out and get the players that Brian Flores knew he could work with. Now, that's just the defense. All right. Now let's go on the offensive side of the ball. Free agent signings. They brought in Aaron Jones, re-signed Dalton Reisner, right? And one of the biggest signings they did was they brought in Sam Darnold. No one predicted Sam Darnold would actually be the player he is right now, right? And I kind of feel like, initially during the offseason, a lot of us, even including myself, we all thought Sam Darnold was just going to be the starting quarterback for a couple of seasons, and he was going to pass the torch to JJ McCarthy. Now, let's talk about the draft for a second. In the draft, There's notable draft picks. JJ McCarthy, Dallas Turner, RIP Kyrie Jackson, and kicker Will Riker. Now, when you combine what they've done in the offseason with the draft, and just think about the the Cam Robinson trade, mid-season after Christian Darrisaw had to suffer a severe season-ending surgery. I really think the Vikings built this team to be in this current state right now. They are currently 14-2. They have a big game Sunday night against the Detroit Lions, and the winner of that game will be number one in the conference, and they will win the NFC North. Now, so you can't throw that term playing with house money. I understand, like, when you sign players or you draft players, some of it is a crapshoot to basically, you don't know if they're going to pan out for your team. You don't know what's going to happen. But if you actually go back to what Kwesi Adofo-Mensah said in one of his initial press conferences, he basically said, we are going to do a competitive rebuild. And a lot of people out there kind of laughed at the terminology and basically said, well, we've never seen a team have a competitive rebuild. How do you do that? That's not possible. What is he talking about? Right? But if you actually break it down, I would say the only season during this Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, Kevin O'Connell regime, house money will be the first season. They finish with 13 wins. They go to the playoffs. They get bounced in the first round. I mean, I don't want to say that was a fluke season, but that was the season they were playing with house money because you brought in a new coach. You really didn't know what's going to happen. But with everything they built with that first season last year to now, they have done multiple moves to get to this point right now and to make this team highly competitive. And that's what they've done. And I think we need to, hats off to the coaching staff, hats off to Kwesi in the front office, because they've done a tremendous job with this team. So I'm going to give y'all my answer right now. Are the Vikings playing with house money? Hell no. They are not playing with house money. They're not. This team is built for the future. This team is built for the long haul. And we're just actually seeing, the fruits come in a little bit earlier. Well, that's pretty much all I got to talk about today. I'm trying to get ready for, a crossover video. It is what it is. But if you're new to the channel and if you, haven't subscribed already, it's much appreciated. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell, like the video. I mean, that just puts my channel in a better space, and it lets you guys know every time I go live and every time I drop a new video. So it's much appreciated. I'm going to work on the Vikings Lions, pregame video real soon. And you guys know how I end it. Go, baby.